Hey, what's going on? Thanks as always for watching this video. I want to make this one as short as possible, I promise. But I just want to preference what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the plastics on a Strat. And the plastics that I'm talking about in particular are for this guitar. This is a relic guitar that I'm building. Actually, it's already built. It's pretty much finished. The only thing I might change is the tuning buttons. I may try to change those to a pearl instead of a white, but that'll be another video for another time. So when I was researching the different kind of pickguards and plastics covers and things for the Strat, I ran into a lot of options, and I wanted to make this video to help someone who might be in the same shoes that I was in to kind of narrow down and pick out what they might like. Now, you may not like what I like, but at least you'll have an idea of what kind of goes together, what one option might look like. So stay tuned for the description of what this particular pickguard and these covers and I guess plastic hardware maybe is what you call it, what colors I went with, what colors I chose. The pickups that I got in this guitar are John Benson pickups, which I absolutely love so far. I haven't had a lot of time with them, but so far I really like them a lot. And the pickup covers that came with the pickups are actually these, which I don't know how well you'll be able to tell, but they're a little different than this color. So these pickup covers are actually Fender brand, and these I'm not sure. I believe they're actually sort of like an import version, and the reason being is I had to actually work a little bit to match the holes on the ends of the bobbins to match these pickup covers. So these holes, space to space, they're not the same as the Fender brand. So that's one thing to look out for. Now, by the way, this pickguard and these covers and knobs and such have been aged by me, and those are going to be in another video that I have not posted yet, so stay tuned for that. So they're not going to be true to the exact color now as you see them on the guitar. There's a little bit of coloration going on, but in the videos that follow this, I'll show you kind of what they look like out of the box. So I will tell you that these John Benson pickups are, as far as I know, aged white color. I don't have any documentation. My invoice doesn't say, and my emails, they don't really say what I picked. I think on his website he has cream, parchment, and aged white. And I think I went with aged white. And here's another example of just some differences you might run into. This backplate cover is Stuart McDonald brand, and this one is Fender brand. Now, hopefully you'll be able to see as I hold these up. I can't do a great job. This is actually supposed to be the same color as these pickup covers and knobs and such. But if you can tell, it's a little bit more of a greenish color, maybe more of a mint green or maybe an army green. And then this Stuart McDonald backplate is actually more of like a neon color green. It's a lot brighter. So those are the sort of things you'll run into in the sort of dizzying number of options that are out there. And the other one being is the manufacturer where you get these things. So like if you go on eBay and you start looking for a mint green pickguard, you'll see a ton of these inexpensive ones, but they may not be the same color mint you want. A lot of times those are a lot brighter green, sort of like the Stuart McDonald backplate that I showed you. And I'm telling you all this again for just your information and knowledge. If you're not into this sort of thing, obviously stop watching the video and move on, no problem. If you are, hopefully this will help you. And one last thing that I just want to say before we get into the color of these is, when I got my first couple of Fender Strats, which I don't have anymore. This is the only one I own currently. I bought, for example, a Fender American Special Strat without even realizing that there are differences in the headstocks of Fender Strats. Like the 70s headstock versus the early headstocks, and now they've gone back, I guess, to the more small headstock. I'll throw some pictures up of the differences in the bigger style 70s headstock and the more traditional one. So I bought the American Special Strat. I didn't even realize that I had a different style headstock. So that headstock may be one you like, maybe it's not, but just to be aware of that. And then as far as like, for example, the fretboard material, I always just kind of liked the look of maple better. And maybe that's because that's traditionally what's on a telly. I don't know, I just kind of like the look of it. But as I began just playing more of them, I realized that I'm more comfortable with Les Paul style guitar. I just really feel comfortable with the Les Paul, and Les Paul has a rosewood neck. And as I played a couple of Strats with rosewood necks, I just really felt at home, and it felt more comfortable, and I liked the sound that it produced better. So just be on the lookout for those things as you kind of grow in your knowledge of guitars and your playing. And maybe you're a veteran, maybe you know all about these things, but you just want to know more about the plastics. So stay tuned, and I promise I'll let you know what's on this guitar, and maybe it'll help you. Thanks a lot. This is what I got from eBay. It's Fender, obviously, genuine parts, and it's aged white kit for your pickup covers, knobs. There's also a trim arm end piece, I guess you would call it. The cap for the trim arm, and the top of the selector switch is in there somewhere behind one of the covers. The back plate doesn't really match. This is what they look like in the package. There's not much else to say. Here's my Fender mint green pickguard. I've actually opened the packaging already, but just want to show you what it looks like in the packaging. Basically, there's the part number if you're really interested, but it's a 62 Strat 11 hole. So what the 62 means is that this hole, screw hole right here, is essentially between the neck and the middle pickup. On the later models, it's moved down here further towards the middle pickup, but for this one, that's there. And also of interest, there is no shielding on the back, not even the control plate area, the electronic area down here, in which some pickguards have. Some of it reaches up to the pickups themselves. But for historical accuracy, I guess, the 62 had, I think, a big aluminum plate that went on the back of the pickguard. I'm probably going to shield mine with something simple like heavy duty aluminum foil, but that's that. And a little bit later in this video, I'll show you what this pickguard looks like with the aged white plastic kit that I also bought. Here's what the mint green pickguard and the aged white plastic kit looks like together. I don't have much to compare it to. This is an old guard that I had that I experimented with. I believe it's just plain white, not parchment or anything like that. And I soaked it in coffee, so it's been discolored. I think the true color is still kind of there in this area here, but you can tell I kind of scratched it up, and this was an experiment that didn't go too well. You can see it's bent up. But that's not what this is about. That's just the only thing I have to compare it to. I really like the green. It's kind of everything I was hoping it would be. I wanted to note that the back plate that came with the aged white is really pretty close to the mint of the pickguard. Maybe it's not exact, but it's pretty darn close. Now, for comparison's sake, this is the Stuart McDonald on the right. Now, I have relicked it and aged it a little bit, cut out some of the corners and put some brown shoe polish here and there in spots and nicked it up. But here's a better representation of what it looks like without any discoloration. And you can tell that the Fender one is more of a, I want to say maybe army green, it's more of a grayish, less bright green. So from my research, Fender really does have the best mint green. It's the least stark, I guess you would say. Yeah, so you can go cheap and get like a $10 scratch plate, and I'm usually pretty frugal, and I try to, just save money wherever possible. But with this, I think it's worth getting the Fender one, and you can get pretty good deals on eBay if you're patient. I got mine for $25, including shipping. I think Fender sells them for about $40 brand new, and then eBay you can usually get them for like $30, including shipping. Anyway, that's my experience, and I would say definitely go for the Fender green because it's maybe the most authentic and the best color tone, in my opinion.